Hello, I'm Wyloch, and here are 3 things that I like. First up, chipboard. This stuff is my go-to. This is a pack of like 25 sheets that are 12 inches by 12 inches. This is graphics medium chipboard, which I get on Amazon. It's great because it's rough, it's fibrous, so it takes glue and it takes paint really well. And given its thickness, it's very sturdy. The rigidity to thickness ratio is very good. This is about a 1/16 of an inch thick, which is also helpful when you're dealing in Imperial like I do. But yeah, chipboard, this is the stuff that I use. Love it. Next up, I like the Baldur's Gate soundtrack. If you've never played Baldur's Gate, you need to go to GOG.com right now and download the complete collection. It is not only the best implementation of D&D in a video game, it's one of the best video games ever made. Anyway, it has an original soundtrack and it's really good. Great ambiance, love it, and I use it at the table when I'm running my games. I have the Baldur's Gate 2 soundtrack also, so it's a big collection. So I take my favorite ones, I copy the MP3s into a folder and rename them to useful things like Temple or Combat or something like that. And then when I'm at the table, I can reach over to my laptop, click, and immediately change the mood. I think that background music is a huge asset for running a D&D game. In fact, I go so far as to say it's more important than tabletop terrain. And I know that's blasphemous, but it's just from my experience that it adds a lot. So I'll give you an example. The party's on the street of a major city at night. The moon bathes the cobblestone in lavender. Down the avenue, the occasional ray of orange flickers from the window of a home or a shop that's burning a wood fire to keep any night spirits at bay. You realize you are no such spirit, and suddenly you feel the hairs on your neck stand up. What do? And then the party suddenly ducks into a large building nearby. Great oak double doors, well oiled and opening with ease. Suddenly you feel the rush of relief and safety. A massive circular room with a colorful tiled mosaic for a floor throws the echoes of your footsteps up to the top of its domed ceiling, plated in gold some 30 feet above. Seated at a desk near the entrance is a middle-aged man in white robes who has startled at your entrance. See? And lastly, I like Americana craft paint. Now this bit's going to be a little bit state-centric, unfortunately, because Michaels doesn't exist everywhere in the world, but nonetheless, the things you look for in your brands of paint matter. Michaels tends to carry 3 main brands. You've got Craftsmart, which is usually the cheapest. This stuff I have found to be watery, not full of a lot of pigment, pretty much guaranteed to do a lot of coats with it. So I generally don't buy Craftsmart anymore. There's Folk Art, which is very thick, comes out like toothpaste. Pigment is a bit better, but it's hard to work with because it's so thick. That said, I will say that their burnt umber is my go-to for a dark brown. It's a good color. Americana is somewhere in the middle in terms of viscosity. So puddles nicely, it's not watery, it's got the most pigment. I think it's the most expensive of the 3, which makes sense. I mean, you get what you pay for. I also find that Americana airbrushes the best. Just mix it with a little bit of water and I've never had any trouble even with my super cheap $80 airbrush. So I spend 70 cents more a bottle for the quality. I like Americana paint. So those are 3 things that I like. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.